guess that yesterday I basically just come to the conclusion that LeBron James he must have said to himself when he saw everything going down in the world, you know what? Let me be the biggest idiot on the internet today, and I think he accomplished that. And I'm sure everyone has seen the video by now, but a Columbus police officer shot and killed Micaiah Bryant, who was trying to stab another person with a knife. That video has gone viral all over the place on body cam footage, and it was blown up, of course, because the cop was white and Bryant was black, and that's something that we've seen definitely. We saw the Chauvin verdict the other day in the George Floyd case, so it's still on the minds of everybody. This came out, I believe, actually the same day that incident did happen. And before the body cam footage comes out, you get the mobs on Twitter that are just, going nuts. It's basically here we go again. And that's the problem with people on social media. They don't wait for context. So context comes out. But before that, LeBron James decided he might as well get in on going in after everything that went down and tweet something. And it was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. He took it a step further, however, by posting a full picture of the officer involved in the shooting on Twitter with the caption, "You're next," and the little emoji with the ticking glass there, the little hourglass, and it says hashtag accountability. And I thought to myself, what is that supposed to mean? Like you're next to be put on prosecution on a murder trial, or you're next for a mob to come terrorize you? I mean, I didn't understand what he was trying to say with that, but I did understand what he was trying to do. He then deletes the tweet, but instead of apologizing, he says this, quote, "Anger does any of us any good, and that includes myself." Yes, there was a typo in that. "Gathering all the facts and educating does, though. My anger still is here for what happened to that little girl. My sympathy for her family, and may justice prevail. I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer, it's about the entire system, and they always use our words to create more racism. I am so desperate for more accountability." So instead of apologizing for throwing out the picture of the officer, who was later shown on body cam footage that he actually saved the life, potentially, of the girl that was about to get stabbed, he explains that he took it down because it was causing more drama. This is one of the most irresponsible and reckless things I have ever seen an athlete do. LeBron James has nearly 50 million followers on Twitter. That is a huge audience. He puts up a full picture of this guy who can now no longer go out and do his job without being a public figure, thanks to how big that audience is. That officer should sue LeBron James into oblivion. Nike has stayed silent on this. Every sponsor has stayed silent on this. Barely anywhere else in sports is there any real criticism on this. Everybody is covering for LeBron James on this. The NBA should make a statement on it. I have absolutely zero respect for LeBron James. If I had a shred of it anymore, it was gone after this. And I know he doesn't care that his product in the NBA isn't being watched by anyone anymore because he gets paid either way. But all this does is continue to push audiences away. You think this helped at all? I mean, this does the exact opposite. And to me, it's ironic that he would talk about accountability. How about some accountability for him? Because this idea being adopted that he's pushing out there, that all police are evil, is perpetually wrong. It's disgusting, it's misinformed, and shame on LeBron James for going out there and putting this out there to his audience. If I'm that officer, I am suing him for everything he has until he can make it whole and pay back the damage that he's done to this officer's reputation, to his public image, to what he's going to have to deal with for the rest of his time being a police officer. He's already dealing with the situation where in a split-second moment, he had to make a decision, and he ultimately saved a life. But this idea that it had to do with race or anything else is absolutely uninformed. It makes no sense. He was doing his job. Cops don't go out there every single day and think to themselves, how can I make a situation in this country right now that a lot of people are dealing with even worse? That's not what they do. They go out there to serve and protect. That's what this cop was doing. He was protecting. If you watch the video, you can see it for yourself clear as day. Even people on LeBron James, you looked at his Twitter account there and the responses, even his followers ripped him for this. It was one of the most blatant and irresponsible and reckless things I've ever seen an athlete do. And for one of his popularity and stature and importance in the sports world, for him to put it out there, it's just a shame where we are right now, because that's 50 million plus people that saw the picture of that officer that was put into the wrong context. And now I think the damage has already been done, and that officer should sue him into next year. It's way over the line. I mean, it's way over the line. You can't do that. And you know what? Look, he's always saying he doesn't want to end racial tensions. He wants to inflame them. That's what he was doing by this. He was inflaming them. And he said in his quote later on that I mentioned there that it wasn't about one officer. You literally posted about one officer. That's exactly what it was about. You just contradicted yourself. LeBron James is an idiot in every way, shape, and form of the word. He's never once to me said anything about anything different than basketball that has ever done any good. He consistently goes on social media to completely flame the fires about racial tensions. He doesn't want to help any of that, and he showed it clear as day by posting that picture. That right there is one of the most dangerous things I've ever seen any athlete do, and especially one like LeBron James, most recognizable, most known athletes in the entire world, and he puts that out there on a platform where 50 million plus people, I mean, imagine, even if just a percentage of that take what he says to heart, like a million of them, that's a million people that now think, okay, this guy is a murderer out there as a cop. I mean, that is sick. It is completely ill-informed, and I wish that he would be held accountable, but no shocker that he is not being held accountable by anybody really in the media, not by his brands. Can you imagine? I mean, the fact that Nike is stayed silent on this and isn't doing anything, the NBA hasn't put out a statement, it's just unbelievable. And the NBA alienated half of their fan base, at least half of the country, by saying what they did as of late, by coming out. They've been political, but by taking it to the next level this past year, absolutely did it in for a lot of people. I know that as for a fact. The TV ratings are backing that up. It is a league that a lot of people don't watch anymore, and when the finals numbers were as low as they were with LeBron in it, like, he is the face of the league, and if he's not in it, no one's going to watch anyways, but he was there and still nobody watched. That should tell you right now where the NBA is, but I couldn't agree more. Stuff like this, where he refused to wait for facts to come out on this case and decided to do something as reckless and dangerous as that, is a complete deterrent, basically telling the rest of those fans that are still hanging on, look, I don't care about this. My goal is to push the idea that all cops are out there to kill and are racist, and that right there is wrong. I mean, it's something that has to be talked about. I feel like it just completely gets ignored, and it shouldn't be, because this is a situation where it is so detrimental, I believe, to that officer. I'm telling you right now, if he doesn't take action, that's a shame, because he should. This is 100% grounds for a lawsuit. It was uncalled for. And again, that body cam footage is pretty telling. You can go out there and I mean, 99% of people are agreeing on this, and it's something I can't believe that sitting here at this time we have to talk about LeBron James, one of the most well-known athletes in the entire world, coming out and putting a target, plain and simple, on this police officer's back for doing his job. His job is to go out there every single day to protect and serve. That's what he was doing in his line of duty there, and now he has a target on his back thanks to a professional athlete who doesn't know anything about the situation.